everyone. It's been a while, and I'm sure you guys are probably wondering, where have you been, Ender? That's a story for another time. Today, I am currently making a video on a more serious topic, something that I was hoping I was not going to have to cover anytime soon, but here we are. I'm sure most of you by now know that the Dream SMP community is undergoing some hot water. First, Dream was accused of grooming a minor, and recently Shelby, or Shubble, came out with a story about an ex-boyfriend. As it turns out, it was Wilbur Soot. Now, this video is not about the Wilbur Soot allegations, this is actually about the Katie Bugs and GeorgeNotFound situation. This is the part of the video where I'm going to be putting on a more serious tone. Content warning for everyone, especially members of my family and any of my friends who are going to be watching this video right now. I am not making this video to attack Katie in any shape or form, nor am I making this video for clout, attention, recognition, you name it. Yes, this is a hot topic going on right now, but that is not why I finally decided to make this video. I am actually making this video because, in my own personal opinion, upon doing the research and keeping up with the situation myself, I have come to the conclusion that Katie did lie and misconstrue the situation, leading to making real victims and survivors look like a joke. To those of you watching this who know me in real life, only a tiny fraction of you will actually know about the stories I will be sharing later on in this video, because they make me very uncomfortable to talk about. I actually am a survivor of SA. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. Katie's story hits really close to home for me, and that's the main reason why I even considered making a video on this drama. So what I did is I held my breath, I waited for updates, and I listened to both parties. When George finally responded, I started to analyze both sides more and more. The way that Katie acted and the way that George acted both made me realize this was not an instance of SA. It was more of a miscommunication or blown out of proportion, or in the instance that this seems to be, it seems more like a girl who regretted a decision and was pressured into attempting to ruin a man's life by her friends. Katie's best friend also came out with her side of the story, which didn't add up. The stories were different from one another, which, if any of you know this, detectives will listen to 2 sides of a story. If they add up, there's a high chance that they were not lying and weren't trying to throw each other under the bus. However, if they differ from one another, that is red flag number 1 and prompts an investigation to continue into both parties. Katie and her friend's stories don't align at all. In Katie's instance, she said that they had already been drinking that night before they even got to the hotel, but her friend said they did not drink until they got to the hotel, which, I don't know about you, but that sounds quite suspicious. That makes me think that either the friend is throwing Katie under the bus, the one who made the allegations, and she is probably one of the girls, friends with Katie, that manipulated her into making these allegations. People who make allegations like this are one of the many reasons I have stopped believing these, quote, victims online without any solid evidence to prove their story. This is not the only instance in which false allegations can and will ruin someone's career and life. Someone has died because of these types of accusations. They need to stop. We need to stop normalizing taking the side of these victims at face value and instead wait for more information and analyze the situation with your own 2 eyes. The term innocent until proven guilty is a real term, and it is used in real life in courts of law. Like, you cannot just demonize people without any evidence. Otherwise, courts in real life would just execute people or put people in jail. No evidence whatsoever. Like, you could do nothing wrong. You know you've done nothing wrong. You have several friends who can vouch for you, and you'd still be put in prison just because someone said you did something that you did not do and they didn't present any evidence, but they had their side taken first. Does that seem fair? No. And that's what people have been doing online lately, which is unfair to the person who's been accused. Let them come out with their evidence first. People didn't do that for Quite. Look what happened to him. He got accused of something that actually occurred to him. He had the proof, he had the receipts. The person who had accused him disappeared, deleted their account. They're gone off the internet. But that same story will never leave him. People who just looked at the situation and fucked off to go see something else or go watch something else, they'll never hear his side of the story because they automatically sided with the one who actually made him a victim, not the other way around. These are the types of situations where people need to think critically before they even come close to a conclusion to any sort of problems or situations. Now, the part of the allegations that really irked me when I was going over all of the evidence and watching the videos, keeping up with the situation, you know, was how many times Katie Bugs had insisted that her being 18 and him being 26 at the time was such a bad thing. That is an 8-year age gap. The only thing is, the both of you are adults. In the United States, 18 is the legal age of being an adult. You are fully within your own rights to do whatever the fuck you want. You are your own person once you are 18. The fact that she continued to fixate on her age repeatedly really angered me. The entire time I was keeping up with the situation, watching the VOD, watching all of the different videos, and keeping up with this situation, every single time she brought up the fact I was 18 at the time, this much older guy, like, come on. My parents have a 7-year age gap. My mother was 19 and my father was 25 when I was conceived. She turned 20, he turned 26 when I was born. Come on, it is not that deep. You're both adults, grow up. Last year, Dream was accused of grooming a minor. It started with Amanda, a girl who, as it turns out, lied about everything. She even stole stories from real grooming victims, including one who'd been groomed by Onision. So I've heard. This man's career had been ruined, his image tarnished. It must have felt terrible seeing your own audience turn against you like vipers going straight for the throat. However, that does not excuse his actions following his best friend's accusations. When the accusations against George came out, Dream, a man who claimed to be his best friend and even gave him a place to live when he officially moved out to Florida from the United Kingdom, threw George under the bus like a rancid piece of meat. That is utterly disgusting. Dream was there, in that hotel room. He saw what happened. He wasn't even the only one. There was more than one witness. Instead of sharing what he'd seen and taking an unbiased stance, he instead treated George like the accusations were automatically true without even thinking or looking at any evidence. There is no doubt in my mind that the reason Dream did this was to make himself look better in the eyes of those who'd scorned him only just a few months ago. The community jumped down George's throat without a second thought, and even his other friends turned on him. Not one person stopped to think about what this could do to him. He is a human being. These accusations are horrible, but there was no proof, and the way that Katie was crying in her VOD, it felt fake more than it looked fake. Not to mention the way the community reacted when he didn't stream immediately after announcing that he's going to gather evidence and tell his side of the story. The community also scorned George for creating a video instead of actually talking about it on a stream. It's better that he created the video instead. Anything he could have said, a minor mistake or a stutter, could have been clipped out of context to make him look even worse based on this situation. That is what a video is for. It's for fixing grammar mistakes, it's for fixing stutters, it's for ensuring that you don't mess up when you're talking about something, especially if you're undereducated and can't actually talk about it. This is the point of the video that I had mentioned at the very beginning, where I am going to tell you guys the major reason why I decided to make this video. I did mention before, I am a survivor of 3 essays. This is a topic that is very sensitive to me, and it's very hard for me to talk about it out loud, but again, for the sake of Knowing this video and my own healing, I will talk about them today. The first instance happened in elementary school in 2nd grade. A fellow student touched me inappropriately and made me very uncomfortable. It is very minimal. It was a very minimal incident, so I did brush it off, and it thankfully never happened again. This is the instance that I remember telling my biological mother about. Her response was, "Boys do that because they like you," which was the single most, and forgive my French, retarded thing I could have ever been told, because that sentence has instilled a difficulty in the word no in my mind. I can barely say it. The second occurrence was in my 5th grade year. This one, however, was caught. I was dating a fellow classmate, or whatever could be considered dating, between the ages of 9 and 10, and he would constantly touch me without consent. I just remembered what my bio mother had told me and sucked it up, until one day my teacher caught him doing it. He got into huge trouble, damn near being expelled, according to his brother, who I was friends with at the time. This is where I don't quite recall which guardian was told at this point in my life. My bio mother was spotty in my life, so I can't recall if she was informed by the school or my aunt, who I consider a mother. That particular instance scarred me for life. I mean, it still affects me even today. Many of you will probably end up saying, "Oh, Ender, where's your proof? Ender, you said you won't believe accusations without proof." Remember, this is a childhood story. I am not name dropping, as A, I lost contact with all these people over a decade ago, and B, these guys are likely completely different nowadays. I don't care if you guys don't believe me, this is a story from when I was between the ages of whatever I was in 2nd grade and 9 and 10, which was 5th grade. These are old memories. Who knows? All I know is the school got involved. I just don't know how to pull that evidence. As for the third and final instance, the last one, and technically most recent one, I will not go into a whole lot of detail because it still makes me very uncomfortable to even think about it. I relive it every single time I talk about it, just like I relive the one that happened to me in 5th grade. But all that really needs to be said is I revoked consent, and he didn't listen to me. This was a boyfriend at the time, and I mean, it affects me. I don't date anymore for a reason. Like, I haven't dated anyone properly in probably, I want to say 2, maybe 3 years ever since then, because I've just been so nervous to do so. To conclude this video, I'm going to give my opinions and thoughts on the way that George acted after Katie came out with a response to his video. He immediately apologized, which on the surface looks like an admission to guilt, whether he wanted it to appear as such or not. The utter lack of spine within the large YouTubers who gained a huge amount of their fame from the Dream Survival multiplayer roleplay series is chilling, to say the least. Whatever happened to people ensuring their audience doesn't become toxic and overly parasocial with them? It's for fame, money, and image. That's all I can conclude that to. Right, people? George immediately apologizing shows his major lack of spine, and is one of the most irritating things within this entire controversy outside of the focus on age. He's not the only content creator to show that they'll let their audience bend them over a table and beat them with the "you are a terrible person, kill yourself" stick. I am one of the last of my kind, a YouTuber who will outright tell their audience, "I am not your friend, I do not know you. I am here to make content for entertainment, not to be your friend." Obviously, my friends that do watch me and know that that message does not apply to them, but I will not let strangers on the internet bully me into bending over a table to be beat with a parasocial stick. I have control over my channel, what I post, and how I deal with situations. YouTubers are not your friends. They are entertainers. Know the difference. To the content creators that have a severe lack of spine or lost their spine over the years, you know who you are. And for all of our sakes, please grow a spine. This parasociality is getting out of hand, and I, as an avid viewer of many channels on the daily, am tired of it. I don't watch Ronbu or Tubbo, iDubbbz, Dream, many of the content creators who have shown that they're just gonna apologize even if they didn't do anything wrong. I don't watch them anymore for a reason. Stop pandering to strangers. Stop bending over, and please think before you speak. All of you, not just content creators. We don't want another Inquisitor incident, and we do not want another Quite situation. This is Ender Dragon Does Gaming, signing off. I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good day, night, afternoon, or morning, depending on the time of day for you guys. Goodbye.